Up next, Cassandra Fauss is a wandering yogi. Yogi foodie, dog lover, self-proclaimed beer aficionado, has been a wanderer and a dreamer forever. And at the time, she was called spirited as a youth by her mom, but today most people would call it ADD. Following many paths since college, her journey has taken her from film production to line cook, retail to real estate, and becoming a certified yoga instructor. Cassandra learned to embrace her unconventional journey and has become passionate now about teaching yoga to others so they can awaken to their own journey to physical and mental well-being. Dude, it says to read it like that. In 2013, she founded Mobile Om. That is San Antonio's first mobile yoga exercise studio. On a mission to change the perception of yoga from an exclusive practice, she now offers donation-based classes in everyday locations that are accessible to all. An incredible story. Cassandra Fauss!
I think the game's starting right now, so can I get a Go Spurs go? Go Spurs go! Alright, awesome. Alright, so my title of my presentation is Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost. This is an abbreviated story on how I became a wandering yogi, a mindful travel, and learned to embrace my life's journey. So I'll share my insights from my journey that inspired me to create Mobile Om, and it's more than a studio, it's a movement to make yoga more accessible. All right, so I've lived in my head most of my life, but I've always been into movement. I started out as a dancer, so you can see not much has changed. Pretty much from birth, I would dance any chance I got. I loved being in motion, so even off the dance floor, I could rarely sit still. Along my path from birth to grade school, to high school, and to college, I was caught up in the momentum of life, a hurry to make it to the finish line of success and happiness. Without this map I had laid out for myself, I thought I would be lost. After college, I landed my dream job at a film studio in Dallas. I was sure I had made it. This was just the beginning of the prize I had worked for my entire life. My name was in movie credits. I had access to industry parties, I mingled with celebrities, I had a downtown loft, a nice car. On paper, it was everything I'd always wanted. But aside from the perks of my daily routine, was pretty mundane. Long hours of sitting at a desk was taking its toll on me physically and my mental well-being as well. I'm sure none of you can relate. I started practicing yoga and gradually started to see results. I was more focused on the job and my back pain was almost gone. Yoga became my escape. Then in July of 2009, I got laid off. Everything I'd worked for came crumbling around me and all I wanted to do was scream. I spent a couple of months perfecting my resume and applying for jobs, but felt a complete lack of passion. Meanwhile, my yoga practice continued. I decided to use my severance package and a newfound free time to enroll in teacher training. Teacher training opened my eyes to the true purpose of the yoga practice. Yoga is something bigger than you and me. It's bigger than being able to stand on your head, or not. It's a practice of self-acceptance and self-love. The practice is in letting go of whatever is holding you back from being happy right now. Someone once told me that if I keep doing things the same way I've always done them, then I'll continue to get the same results I've always gotten. I knew I needed to shake things up. So I accepted a job offer in San Antonio, away from anyone and anything that I ever knew. I was definitely out of my comfort zone. Since moving to San Antonio, my journey has had some twists and turns. A series of fortunate events landed me with a job at Lululemon Athletica. Not only did I learn all there was to know about stretchy pants, but I also learned how to stretch myself beyond my limits. It was there that I connected to my roots, learned the essence of community, and began to blossom as a leader. I was teaching yoga a few days a week at a local studio. I loved teaching. Sharing yoga with others made me come alive. I soon began to feel confined by the four walls of the studio. I loved my community at the studio, but knew there were so many people outside that needed yoga in their lives, and they didn't even know it yet. Yoga had changed my mind, and I wanted to change others' mind about yoga. Yoga is not something that exists inside of a studio, in an expensive mat, or in the right clothing. Yoga is with you anywhere, everywhere, all the time. I wanted to change the perception that yoga is intimidating, expensive, exclusive, and inaccessible. Since I've always been a foodie, I was inspired by the flourishing food truck scene in San Antonio. I was amazed by the quality of food being produced by food trucks and the mobility of being able to take it to where the people are. I wanted to do the same with yoga. I provide a way to get all the benefits of a yoga studio, but with the ability to set it up anywhere and everywhere. In July of 2013, Mobile Om was born. It's more than just a studio on wheels. Mobile Om is a movement to take yoga out of the studio and into everyday people and everyday life. I was on a mission to make yoga casual, fun, and accessible. Last July, I hosted the first Mobile Om class on the Hay Street Bridge. I picked this location not only for its spectacular downtown view, but because it was easily accessible and a landmark of San Antonio. 12 people showed up to that first class. The next week, I had 24. Mobile Om brings yoga to everyday locations like the bridge in order to foster deeper connection to this place, San Antonio, that we call home. Anyone can find peace of mind when they shut out the distractions inside of a serene studio. But real power comes when you're coming in the chaos of life. This is the yoga that applies to your everyday life, learning to slow down when everything around you is moving in the fast lanes. In order to make yoga more accessible and to support the idea of karma, I decided to make Mobile Om classes donation-based. People can show up as they are and pay what they can. I don't think anyone should miss out on the opportunity to experience the benefits of a yoga practice because of financial limits. Finding other locations for classes has been an adventure in and of itself. From CrossFit gyms to bars, parks to parking garages, each time you attend a Mobile Om class, you are encouraged to fully experience and appreciate all the unique aspects of the location that you're in. The goal of every Mobile Om class is to be unpretentious and welcoming to anyone who wants to practice. The unusual locations and casual vibe has helped to foster community among yogis. Many of our events even include beer tastings, complimentary mimosas, and food. This is yoga for real people. It's been less than 1 year since I held that first class on the bridge, and I'm amazed by the number of places I've been able to wander. From Travis Park to 1221 Broadway, Rack Space, the Young Women's Leadership Academy, Tuk Tuk Tap Room, The Friendly Spot, Geekdom, the Richter Co., and that's only the beginning. So as a closing thought that I'd like to leave each of you is to consider this. As you travel on your life's journey, what is it that you're really passionate about? What is it that lights you up and makes you feel alive? So if you're to leave here with just one thing, let it be this. Go do it now, because if not now, then when? Thank you.
Okay, Cassandra, just a couple of questions. Had you gotten this idea from anywhere else? Had you ever heard of this?
Not really. I actually started to look it up to hope that it was someone that I could copy. I was like, there's got to be someone in like San Francisco or in LA doing it. I really didn't find it, so that made it even more of a challenge for me.
And now, you don't just go out to somebody's house, or I guess you could, but these are group classes as well?
For the most part, we've been doing a lot of donation-based classes for the community, but I'm also available to come out and do, any kind of private classes at your house, if you want.
I don't know, I just remember raids back in the day out on the east side. Anyway, and what's the toughest part for you? There are misconceptions about yoga, you touched on them here. But when people come to your class, what can they expect? An hour of...
Yeah, well, the first thing, I don't speak Sanskrit or try to make you stand on your head or twist into a pretzel. It's really just about being present and breathing. So if you can breathe, then you'll be fine.
And now where do people find out more about this?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook, just under Mobile Om, and my website is mobileomtx.com.
Okay, and do you drive the van?
I do. Unless I have to go super north, because it only drives about 55 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
Most people in San Antonio drive about 55 miles an hour, but so.
You are correct. All right, well, thank you very much. And I guess you're going to be here later if people want to...
Yeah, I'll be here if anyone wants to chat.
All right. Cassandra Fauss, ladies and gentlemen.